Hi, welcome to my channel. My name is D Love. My channel is D Love. This is a continuation of yesterday. Just going deeper into these cards, into the Thoth, and also just the meanings of the cards. I started thinking after I did the read yesterday that I wanted to use one of my personal tenets in this study, and that is principles over personalities, and like essence over archetype, if you will. I understand the need for it, and we are human, and we, people every day, peopling. I is my thing. My number one thing is people. However, there is a generalization and labeling that we can get into sometimes that that although is part of what we do, I suppose, the game of life, it can be detrimental to personal relationships sometimes, the labeling and the thinking that, people can be compartmentalized based on personality types. And I see the need for it, yet at the same time, I, I would like to take it back to Mother Nature herself. And I have a deck that is called the Flow deck. And in this deck, it's the Queen of Discs is the Queen of Pawns, and she is called resourceful, orderly, resourceful. And I started thinking a lot about amphibians and frogs specifically, and I decided I actually took a few notes. I was thinking about their resourceful nature, and of course I thought about what great hunters they are. I did not know that their saliva changed from like very watery to very sticky, and that's a phenomenon itself and a resourceful thing considering what they eat. Often disease spreading mosquitoes. They're around a lot of water. They're resourceful simply because of their life cycle. They're tadpoles. They're eggs in the beginning that hatch into tadpoles that that are amphibious, that become terrestrial beings with thin skin, with skin that can absorb nutrients and air. They can breathe through their skin. Frogs extremely resourceful. Although we often think of them, I mean, many of the stories that we see, the mythology, the lore, cartoons, we see them as very kind of social animals. They are solitary for the most part and territorial. Their calls are usually mating calls, from what we know. I mean, how do we really all know all these things? And this card is connected to this so crazily. The resourceful nature of the Queen of Earth, the Queen of Pawns, the Queen of Discs, the Queen, we'll just call her the Queen of Earth. The resourceful nature, part of their most resource, as we spoke about, is their ability to metamorphosize, that they do metamorphosize. They show us that, and they show us the transformation And we are able to see that. We're able to see the change in what death is. Of course, we also, it's called darkness in this deck, the transformation. We just don't know. I mean, we like to think that, their frogs are simply calling out for mating, and often I'm sure they are. Yet we can't say that for certainty. Okay, so I just wanted to tie this together, kind of. The cards will be left. I'm going to do this on all the cards from now on. And like the tower, it so happened it was on the bottom of the deck. I'm going to go ahead and put it on here. It's called the Looming Storm in this deck. And we do know storms come. Some places and people see more than others. Okay, we'll just go ahead and put this together. We won't go too much into that right now. And we're not at this bottom row. I just thought this was so interesting that this resourcefulness, a huge part of it is the ability to metamorphosize, to change, to change up, and what a resourceful thing that is. And then to see that transformation right here, because as we know, metamorphosis is a big part of transformation. We know that much. We know our bodies themselves go through great changes. Okay, we read about, or at least the last, I went backwards on her, and I'll read it again. The Princess of Dis. Here we have an attempt to translate into a picture the spiritual quality of Earth, eternally pregnant and containing in its fertility the unwritten cipher of cosmic lure. In this deck, they call it the Page of Wands, and in many decks they do, but in Thoth it's again personified. It's actually more a directional type card, and we'll probably get more into that. And they call it Boundless Curiosity, and it's a little sea otter, a little otter. Just that curiosity. And when I looked at this card, I got curious myself, and I thought that trail of water, that slick coat, all of that together, the oily look of this water and this animal, I started thinking about it. I have to know more about otters now. I will tell you that blue and brown together, along with that white and silvery oily look, are some of my favorite color combinations. Those blue, you could probably look around my table and chair and see that. I love that. And then you have the surface tension here. So that boundless curiosity, it just shows throughout this entire card. And this one. So we're gonna look at the white book interpretation, but let's just remember what that curiosity leads to: growth and learning, and that is boundless. That is like that. What I like to think is the androgyne within each of us, the genderless, that just like kid, that inner child in each of us. It is without gender. It's that feeling of just that boundless curiosity about everything, including gender. I love the way she's pregnant here. Okay. We're spending a lot of time on each of these cards, which is okay. Maybe it's a summer project. learning about them, and how you can bring this energy to your own life. Get in touch. I'm speaking to myself too. Let's get in touch on a every moment basis, and I think it's through breath. That little animal surely breathes and knows its breath intuitively. Intuitively. Get curious about just whatever you want. Your breath. Get curious. Um, let's see. I'm curious to see. Here we have in the catalog what the catalog has to say. Okay. The suits. Oh, I already read the catalog. Okay, we know what the catalog said. And now we're going to go to the exhibition, the reading of the exhibition, what that means. And it's, I think I already said, it's the 78th card. It's the earthy part of earth, or the element on the brink of transfiguration. She is standing. Let's pull up the Thoth. Here we go. Let's pull these both up simultaneously and get the energy. Okay. So she is standing. This is an energy. This is something. This is not, we can say she, he. This is timeless and boundless and ageless energy. Earthy part of earth, or the element on the brink of transfiguration. She is standing. Her crest is the head of the ram. Her scepter descends into the earth, where its head becomes a diamond. Behind are a grove of trees and an altar resembling the wheat sheaf. She carries a disc in whose center is the Chinese ideogram, denoting the twin spiral force of creation in perfect equilibrium. It's something how the background on these are so beautifully similar. Gorgeous. Okay, we'll keep these up, and we're going to go to the everyday, or the mundane, you could say. Every day, just basic read. Represents the watery part. Oh, that's the queen. Princess. Represents the earthy part of earth. A young woman, beautiful and strong, as if beholding a secret wonder, pregnant with all life. She is generous, kind, diligent, benevolent, persevering, preserving, ill-dignified, wasteful, and prodigal woman at war with her essential dignity. So this is a call to our essential, to our dignity, to embracing that curiosity. Beautiful, beautiful energy. And it paired here with the universe shows how we come back around to this, to our curiosity, and how we can be just constant students of our universe. It's a beautiful thing. It's regenerative in itself. Okay. I'm not keeping up with the time that closely this morning, clearly. I'm at 16 minutes. Okay, well, I guess we'll stop there at that card. And tomorrow we'll move on to this beautiful Six of Clouds, Cups. Here, it is identified as pleasure in the Thoth Tarot. And here it is identified as wonder, the Six of Clouds, in the Flow Tarot, Six of Cups. Wonder. Beautiful. And it's paired with the Fool. Pure wonder. Okay, well, we'll get to that tomorrow. And we're going to go through this. Then maybe I'll go a little bit more quickly. Who knows? Thank you for coming to my space and sharing. I do appreciate you so much. I will say, since I have a little bit more time and I want to be finished up with the princess, that we'll go to Milo Duquette's Tarot of Ceremonial Magic and just quickly, and I'm also going to, I'm going to look real quick. If I can quickly find it. Oh my. I pull some of my books down sometimes and leave them places. Okay, good. All right. She's on the cover of Understanding Crowley's Thoth Tarot by Milo Duquette. So I want to also get into this book a little bit. And when I get to a point where we start piecing all this together, then I'll go back to maybe this bottom panel. Bottom Saturn square. This may just literally be a summer project for me, folks. Thank you if you're listening. For any of you that are listening, and at some point you may decide to, some of you, others may decide to listen. The Princess of Dis, Princess of Echoing Hills. This is so poetic. Princess of Echoing Hills, Rose of the Palace of Earth. With the Ace of Disc, it rules Aries, Taurus, and Gemini quadrant above the North Pole and Europe and Africa. So these are more like ruling energy above the North Pole and Europe and Africa. I haven't gotten into that much, into the actual earth, how this works, how the aces and the princesses are actually thrones. It is a whole form of study, if any of you are interested. My curiosity is kind of piqued now, although I'm not gonna, within this, I say that as soon as a negative word comes out of my mouth, I want to correct myself and say I may. General divinatory meanings. A strong and beautiful woman. So if you're just doing a general read for someone and they want to include personalities, they have something they want to know about personalities and not just like essences, energies, perhaps. This is a good way to look at this. A strong and beautiful woman, perhaps a mother, ideal projection of womanhood, so all encompassing in her attributes, she may appear confusingly inconsistent. So has so many attributes that sometimes she's appears inconsistent. She may be quadrantly balanced, much like the Empress energy. She rests, you could say she really is like an inner child. She rests and awaits the future, the threshold of transformation. Wow, this is a gorgeous read. Okay, I'm not going to get into the I Ching and all that here. You can, though. If you want a comprehensive study and to be able to dive as deeply as you want in different aspects of the tarot, a guide, doors to be able to do this, I highly recommend this. I've learned so much from Lon Milo Duquette, and he is, I think he is the epitome of this. Okay, so I'm going to end it there. I'll start bringing this in, and we'll get more into this book also. I'm going to say tomorrow. Folks, thank you so much for coming into my space. I appreciate you. I'm very grateful that I had the opportunity to study tarot and to share. It feels good to share your knowledge. So if anyone, gleans anything from this, thank you. Thank you so much. Have a beautiful day. Beautiful days all.